Mr. Mumblebitch.
So, please come in.
Ladies, sorry for your loss.
Please sit there.
I can't believe she's gone. She was just here. I know, sis. I know.
You need to stay strong, honey. She would want you to stay strong for her, for your family.
Well, it's time for you to leave.
For what? We can't leave her. Why her body is still here, on the ground?
It's not my problem, Lance. I came here to do what I do. To find the murderer. Hey, hey. Where were you last night? It's 11 p.m.
After I talked to my mom for a while, I went to my bedroom and read my book. I fell asleep around 10:30, I guess. And I woke up with the handmaiden's scream.
I didn't see my mother for a long time, so I was with her. I arrived at her house about 8 p.m. Yeah, 8, it was 8. I spent the night there. My fiance called me in the morning with such a horror in her voice. I still can't believe what's happened.
Are you blaming me for murdering my mother, Mr. Mumblebitch? My own mother.
Everybody's a suspect until we find the murderer after all. So, if you let me, I will continue doing my job.
Well, I was out with friends.
I was going to my room to sleep.
What was the subject of the last conversation you had with Mrs. Anston?
Nothing. We just had dinner and then didn't talk much. Later, I went up to my room to get dressed.
She told me to clean up the table last night.
Nothing special, just ordinary things, like my approaching wedding, I guess.
Is your wedding an ordinary thing for you?
I mean, we talked about details like flowers and candles.
Do you know any enemies of Mrs. Anston?
Well, I can't think anyone who could not like her. She was a saint.
Absolutely not. She was such a mellow and sweetheart. She wasn't a mean person.
I don't think that she could have won. My mother-in-law was a great person. She had such a big heart. But even though her great character and wonderful employer attitudes, the maiden doesn't quite like her. I saw them arguing once.
Alright, Mr. Pitts, you may leave. Well, madam, I heard about an argument between you and Mrs. Aniston. So, what was it about?
While I was dusting the living area, I put the photograph of Mr. Aniston away somewhere. But I wouldn't call ours an argument besides the one she had with her daughter, small one, Angelica.
Well, could you explain it a little bit more?
I don't know the subject of the argument, but at the end, Miss Angelica slammed the door behind her. She was very, very furious and crying, like she could even murder her. Hello, destination. Okay, sir. Mr. Rumblebatch is on his way. He wants to see all of us.
Okay. Call my sister and her fiancé, please.
Hi. Well, ladies and you, I gathered all of you here for a reason.
Oh, you don't say.
Well, I was going to reveal the murder of your mother, but if you guys are not interested in...
Sorry, Mr. Mumblebatch. Please excuse my sister. She is still a bit shaken of our mother's loss. Please continue.
Maybe I will, if you beg more.
I beg your pardon?
Well, whatever. I will never continue without my maturity. So, at the end of my investigation, I come up with a murder.
No way.
Okay, let's start with your hidden sides. I'm picking you up first, Mr. Pitts. Because I didn't like you at first sight, and I still don't. So let's start with you.
That was offensive, sir.
Anyway, Mr. Pitts, you were the first person I considered as the murderer. Besides your meaningless attitudes, you were also the only one with the weakest alibis. So I really tried everything to reveal that you were the one I've been looking for. Well, Mr. Pitt, I was talking about these meaningless attitudes. But as the investigation deepens, I found out much more secrets. Like yours, Mrs. J, like yours!
Excuse me? What secrets?
You have been taking place in place for the past few years, Mrs. J. But your mother wasn't aware of that, because it was a big shame for her family.
Yes. Yes, I have. But could you please explain me how that makes me the murderer? I was just doing what I love.
Aha! You could clear everything out in your way to get what you want, even if that's your mother.
I don't accept that accusation, sir. That's just way too silly.
Yes, ma'am. I figured that out when I investigated more. My next suspect was Miss Angelica.
Well, detective, just so you know, if I were a murderer, I wouldn't kill my own mother.
But considering that she wasn't actually your own mother, that makes sense, huh?
What?
Well, it makes sense. weren't the guy. I'm an orphan. So what? That makes me the murderer?
No. I thought your mother was killed by someone close. Because I found some hair in the victim's hands.
I killed no one.
Yes, you killed no one. Because only a stupid could think that the hair was real. The killer must have the key of this house. That night, the victim was found alone in his room, and the killer hit her head with the glass vase which I found a piece of it. Didn't you, Mr. Pitts?
But as you see, I'm not blonde.
Yes, the wig that you wore was made of blonde hair. The maid in your mother's house said she saw a blonde woman near the house. Your mother confessed everything. Don't deny.
I heard my fiancé is an orphan. I told it to my mother and she said,
You need to remove obstacle, my son.
I'm really sorry. I'm...